we keep it PG and there's no swearing. So I try to, I don't ever want any parent to be listening to this program with their hands on each side of their child's head, covering up their ears when they hear something they think bad is coming. I don't want that. So Unfound is PG. All right, let's get to, man, a long show tonight. Let's get to this Friday. Very excited to be bringing this disappearance to you this Friday. We are finally going to be officially covering the disappearance of Jodi Huisentruit. Jodi's disappearance is one that I've talked about often on this live show. And in fact, some of you may be saying, well, didn't you already cover it before? Didn't way back in 2017? Well, kinda. Caroline Lowe was on the program back in about April or May of 2017. And yes, we did talk about Jodi's disappearance, but it was part of a larger discussion regarding Caroline's work reporting on crime and disappearances as a reporter. We also talked about Jacob Wetterling's disappearance, which she had worked on since almost day one, because that's in the area where she was reporting at the time in Minnesota. And that was a disappearance that was actually unsolved in 2017. It has since been solved. The guy who killed Jacob is in jail, and Jacob's remains were found. But we only touched upon the very generalities of Jodi's disappearance, and Jodi's is one that Caroline has been working on as part of the website findjodi.com for quite a few years. And in fact, I have known Caroline since well before I started Unfound, because the old podcast that I did before Unfound, we actually covered Jodi's disappearance, although we did not have a guest. I had talked to Caroline, took notes, and then talked about that in the old podcast from April to July of 2016. So now, though, this Friday, we will be covering it officially like we usually do. Caroline is my guest again, but now I did an interview with her on Friday night, this past Friday night while I was in Ocala, and we talked about nothing but Jodi's disappearance. And I think many of you already know, it's probably, once it comes out, probably it'll be the most well-known disappearance that we've covered next to Flight 370. And she was a reporter, Mason City, Iowa, June 27th, 1995. She was leaving for work very, very early in the morning. She was running late, and that happens to be the title of the episode, Running Late. And she was attacked as she got to her car. All of her belongings were strewn all over the parking lot. She was never seen again. And there is now a website, findjodi.com, that I think you should go to. They are producing a very, very good podcast there. I think there's 6 episodes out, or 6 or 7, 6 right now, that I think you should listen to if you can before Friday. They will continue to produce them. Caroline told me that they're working on number 7. I've been a member in the discussion group at findjodi.com going way back to 2005 or something like that. I mean, just after whenever the website was created, right after that, they had a forum, and I became a member in the forum. And I've known about Jodi's disappearance since even before I moved to Las Vegas in 1998. So all these years later, to have a program, have an expert regarding her disappearance on the program to talk about it, you just never know how your life is going to go. But that's what we're covering this Friday, Jodi Huisentruit's disappearance. And we cover it, I think, as well. Maybe not as well as the actual podcast itself on findjodi.com, but whereas they're doing a series, we're going to, of course, compress it all into one. But I think that it's as good as all the other episodes that we've done. even though I know that most of the facts regarding Jodi's disappearance are out there. But with Caroline being on, she has some understanding of what's been going on behind the scenes, and can offer a perspective, being as a reporter and being able to just look at the facts, very, very cold facts regarding Jodi's disappearance, and see how everything has progressed over the past 25 years, because this disappearance is now over 25 years old. And I think that Caroline and I have a very good rapport. I maybe talk to her once a month, just keeping in contact with her. And just within the last 6 weeks, I was like, do you think it's time, Caroline? Do you think it's time for you to come back on the program and let's just cover Jodi's disappearance exclusively? And she said, yeah, let's do it. So we did. So once again, this Friday, the disappearance of Jodi Huisentruit, June 27th, 1995, from Mason City, Iowa. The title of the episode is Running Late, and Caroline Lowe, who is a veteran reporter, missing persons advocate, and contributor at findjodi.com, is the guest. So what are some of you saying here? Dr. Carter says it's sad because it's not a popularity contest. It's about finding out what happens. I agree. Not a popularity contest. And some of you talking about a TV show. Raymond Burr getting mentioned. LaFord says Jodi's case is one of the few popular disappearances that I'm interested in. The Jodi podcast is a good one. It is very good. And we do talk about some of the episodes, but I didn't want to ruin it. I'm not here to steal another podcast's thunder. So we touch upon some of the topics they've covered, but we do not go into a lot of depth because, once again, I want people to listen to what Unfound offers and then go to that podcast as well. I'm not trying to steal their listeners at all. They're doing a great job over there. Charlotte says Jodi's is a really interesting one. Wurzel says Columbo and Peter Falk is my favorite. Columbo is so good, Wurzel. Yeah, Charlotte says, yeah, LaFord loves Columbo as well. Okay. So that's it. Maybe one of the record longest live shows tonight. Not sure I expected that. But what do we do? Talked about getting back from Orlando. Talked about disc golf in Ocala. No disc golf this weekend, although I will play with the club on Sunday morning. YouTube going over 10,000 subscribers. Talked about the Angela Green poll, Stephanie Hollingsworth, some new videos. Remember, tomorrow evening, 7 p.m. Eastern on the Fischler College of Education and School of Criminal Justice YouTube channel. I'll be meeting with Dr. Grace Telesco to talk about the Marco Island 3. Talked about Tom Brown at least for a couple minutes. I'm not going to continue to analyze rehashing of Tom's disappearance. Dominic Holly Grisham, Nico Lisi, Bonnie and Jeremy Degas, Julie Weflin. I did not get to this other piece of news regarding this Holly Courtier who got lost in Zion National Park for 12 days. There's some doubts about whether she's telling the truth or not. I have to kind of agree, but I'm not going to get into it now. Too late. Took a lot of great questions from the audience and then some questions that came to me beforehand. And this Friday, the disappearance of Jodi Huisentruit. By the way, this episode will also be coming out early because I have something to do at 1 p.m. on Friday. So you can look for it maybe around noon time, Eastern time. So that's it. I'm out. Thank you so much. Thank you for the contributions through the Super Chat tonight. And I hope you enjoy this show as much as I enjoy putting it on. So good night, everyone. Great to see all of you tonight. Thank you so much. Good night.